Raiders, this weekend we can finally get a break from events. Welcome to the channel everyone, I'm Skratch and this is another Raid Shadow Legends video. As expected, we will have a 15x progressive chance this weekend. And guess what? We actually don't have a summon rush. We will have the Pair of Light event, which will allow you to get the 5-star soul for the Incarnate, or the 3-star or the 4-star. Overall, it's definitely not a bad Pair of Light event. I just feel that the soul is not worth the resources in my opinion. Yes, you can go and pick a 3-star soul at a very minimal cost, and that's something doable for every single free-to-play player out there that is close to the end game basically, you know. So it's not a bad event. In order to get points, you need to either summon champions or upgrade trained champions basically, you know. So diving straight into the main topic, which is of course the 15x progressive chance champions. We will have an event from Ancient, Sacred, Voids, and Primal Shards. Keep in mind the chances to summon epic legendaries are pretty much the same for every single type of shard. You don't have the best chances to summon epics or legendaries. The 15x progressive chances are usually events for Krakens or people that like to gamble, because the chance to actually get the champion that you really want, even when you go all the way up to 25x, is still pretty low. How many times I summoned Sacreds for epics? I opened 15 Sacreds and I haven't got an epic on the 15x that went all the way to 25x. So keep that in mind as well. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen Cold Brew not a long time ago pulling on the 15x, and he summoned like 15 epics, but he didn't got the epic that was on the 15x 25x progressive chance. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Now, the reason why I'm saying it that we can finally have a break, I do think that some of the champions are great, but they are not a must-have on any account whatsoever. So, starting with the very first champion, this is a champion that I would love to get personally, but I'm not going to open shards. Instead, I'm going to save my shards for the upcoming fusion, or maybe next week we're going to have some better events. So I'm slowly going to restock all of my shards. We're going to have Cisia Flametongue, the only demon spawn that I'm missing actually. She was a guaranteed in the past. I just didn't have the sacred shards to go for it. She's a pretty awesome champion. She can deal a lot of damage. She partners up with Cardial, guys. With the A1, attacks an enemy 3 times, has a chance to basically increase the duration of HP burn. Then you have the A2, attacks all enemies, puts defense down and weaken, and also instantly activates any HP burn debuffs on each target and decreases the duration of those HP burn debuffs by 1 turn. So it's actually a pretty awesome thing to detonate the HP burn. You get a lot of damage out of it. She's very effective for Hydra Clan boss. Just in general, I feel like she's a really underestimated nuker because she can put in some serious numbers with both of her AoEs. Then with this skill right here, places an HP burn debuff on this champion for 3 turns, then attacks all enemies, has a chance to place HP burn on all enemies for 3 turns, and grants an extra turn if she places HP burn on all of the enemies, which will allow you to move straight into the A2, which is actually a pretty nice touch, but hey, the 3% chance brings in a lot of RNG. The passive will increase the speed and the damage inflicted by 3%. I feel like while she is an amazing champion, you have quite a few different options now for HP burn detonation. One of them being Artek, which was a free champion in 2023. Plus, of course, you have Theodore, you have Sulfurian, you have quite a few different characters. The theme for this 15x progressive chance, guys, is of course HP burn. The next champion that we have on the list, he is actually a GOAT. He was a guaranteed as well in a summon rush, and is Mishinaki. I just realized I clicked on the wrong faction. But here we go. I love Mishinaki. I am using him in my Hydra Clan boss team. Very solid for the Curse City. Other than that, there isn't much that you can say about the champion. He's definitely not bad. He's pretty solid, good damage. The A1 brings HP burn. The A2 will bring defense down and decrease attack on enemies under Hex. The A3 attacks all enemies 2 times, will remove the buffs from each target, and then will place a Hex debuff for 2 turns. The passive is something that's really nice, because whenever an ally attacks an enemy under a Hex debuff, this champion has a chance to team up and join the ally's attack, which is very nice because you're gonna get a lot of extra damage, especially if you're hitting decapitated heads. He can hit on a good build from like 500k all the way up to close to 1 million if you have a solid build on him. And you have a defense aura for all battles. Now, I have mine built in Savage, guys, and I feel like while Relentless is pretty efficient in the Hydra clan boss, since we have so many raw damage dealers and we have the Great Hall, which actually boosts their damage even more, and the enemy max HP nukers are kind of like left behind, Savage is the better way to go on them, or Merciless, even better if you have that set available. Then we have Walking Tombed Rank. He was a fusion once upon a time, I can't even remember when. Pretty solid if you like to make a duo team for the Sand Devil's Necropolis with Godseeker and Eerie. Pretty solid for the Spiders then as well. He has AoE attack, and the HP burn cannot be resisted, which is a very, very nice touch. With the A1, he can instantly activate the HP burn on the target. With the A3, he equalizes the HP of all allies. Pretty nice. I feel like his main purpose is either the Sand Devil's Necropolis in a duo team with Godseeker and Eerie, either if you need him for the Spider. Other than that, I just don't think he really provides a lot of value, and it's not something that cannot be replaced, basically, you know? Being unresistible with the HP burn is actually pretty nice. Now, if you want to build him for the Sand Devil's Necropolis, a regeneration set will kind of like be key to it, depending on how you're tuning that team. Then we have Cupidus. Cupidus is actually pretty solid. Still good, even for a PvP to deal damage. I feel like not in the high-end arena, that's for sure, but in tag team arena and other places like this where you have room to use him, you're gonna get value out of him. He has the AoE attack, damage increases by 15 if the target has any debuffs, and not just that, you can use him in the Hydra clan boss. If you have a Venus, you're really gonna get a lot of value because he's going to counter attack all the time, which is really, really nice. AoE attack, HP burn, decent multipliers on this skill. The A3 increases his attack, then places an HP burn on all enemies if this attack kills an enemy. So the good thing about him, guys, is that he can smack pretty hard, you know, and bringing his own increased attack is actually a nice touch. The best build for him as well will be Savage, to be honest with you guys. And yes, you can give him a bit of accuracy if you're relying on him to put the HP burn. If not, just build him with full attack, you know. The passive attacks inflict 25% more damage, always counter attacks when attacked, but only available when Venus is on the same team, which makes him pretty solid together with Venus. Ally attack for all battles, not too shabby. Then we have Artak. He is on this list as well, guys, of course. Pretty solid champion, decent for Hydra in terms of dealing damage. If no, he's kind of like better just to apply the burn and decrease attack. That doesn't give you a lot of damage, to be honest, but it's still something that a lot of people can use while they're progressing through the Hydra clan boss. AoE attack on the A1 with a chance to extend the duration of burn. The A2 puts a decreased attack and instantly activates the burn on each enemy. And the A3 attacks all enemies. The first hit has a chance to put HP burn. He will restore his destroyed HP. He's great to solo the Ice Golem. Keep in mind, you do need pretty intensive stats if you're trying to take him on hard mode. And unfortunately, it's not a 100% chance. Even without War Master, you can still trigger the passive on the boss, which most likely it will basically destroy Artak, regardless of how tanky he is, you know. Maybe with the Great Hall and stuff, but who the heck will invest in the Ice Golem Great Hall? You need to be out of your mind to do that, to be honest. But overall, he's a pretty decent champion. Then we have Sulfurion, pretty awesome Void Legendary. I would like to get one, but I wouldn't summon on a 15x progressive chance for him. If I would get him during a regular 2x, I'll be more than happy with him. So the A1 attacks an enemy, fills the champion's turn meter by 15%. Also fills the turn meter of all allies except this champion by 10% when attacking a target under HP burn. The A2 is very unique, but I would still like to add something to it. This HP burn that is being placed needs to be unresistible. He is a Void Legendary, and he deserves that. Not resistible. That will make him more reliable on the Spider dungeon to ensure that you're always applying the burn, and then you're detonating it, which is a very, very nice touch. Before we had all of these mythicals like Gizmek and stuff, a lot of people were using Sulfurion in live arena just to melt down Stone Skin, which was a pretty interesting strat with him, you know, but you do need Incinerate on him. Then you have a Revive with 50% HP and 40% turn meter on all of your allies, and you gain an extra turn, which is definitely a very nice touch. The passive is not bad either. You're getting more turn meter, you're getting some healing, you have an HP aura for all battles. Pretty solid. I've actually made Sand Devil Necropolis duo team for stage 25 with Sulfurian and Godseeker Aniri, and my god, worked like a charm. Pretty badass. Then we have Venus. Of course, Venus needs to be on the list if Cupidus is here. I'm still using my Venus in Hydra Clan Boss. Poisons on the A1, defense down and weaken on the A2 AoE, HP burn on the A3. If Cupidus is on the same team, she removes all buffs from all enemies and has a chance to grant an extra turn. HP aura for all battles. She doesn't hit extremely hard or anything like that, but having her built with a bit of damage is nice. I have mine built on a curse set just to apply the hex, because I'm not always using champions with hex in the same team with her. You know, you're not going to use Mishinaki and Venus in the same team because it's a bit pointless, to be honest, if you're trying to min-max your damage, you know. But she's still a nice vanilla champion, which actually I don't think she ever got buffed, but I might be wrong. I don't think they've ever changed anything on her. Then we have epics. This time around we have epics. We do have some amazing epics, I'll be honest with you guys, and I know that this is one of the most wanted epic champions in the entire game, and that is Geomancer. So if somebody wants to YOLO for him, I do wish you guys good luck. He's a very unique champion. You have AoE on the A1 with decreased accuracy. Amazing with a cruelty blasting, amazing on a curse set as well, especially for the Hydra Clan Boss. Removes all buffs from a target enemy or steals them if they are under HP burn. The A3 fully depletes the Thermitor, fills the champion's Thermitor, then you get HP burn and weaken on the target for 3 turns. Great for the Clan Boss in unkillable teams, even if they're non-unkillable teams. Great for the Hydra Clan Boss. Preferably, you want to use him in the Hydra Clan Boss on a rotation where you have a lot of heads that have AoE attacks, you know, because you're going to maximize the damage from his passive. He's the #1 champion for the Iron Twins Fortress. He's just melting those. He's just melting that boss down, you know. And again, HP aura for all battles. Solid champion that can be used in a lot of content versus a lot of bosses. Then we have Ultimate Galek. A bit weird to have him on the list, but yeah, Ultimate Galek is okayish, to be honest with you guys. You need to have increased attack in the team in order to kind of like make the most out of him. I feel like he's good for progression to carry you through some of the stages in the Spider Dungeon. But once you're past those areas, he's pretty much becoming irrelevant, even for the Curse series and other areas like this. He's just not going to bring you a lot of value. For Faction Wars, he can do a bit of damage, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Orcs have much better options. The A1 has a chance to basically place a HP burn debuff on the target if the champion is under an increased attack. He's going to have a bit of Thermitor manipulation, then attacks one enemy, has a chance to place HP burn on the target for 2 turns if the champion is under an increased attack, decreases the Thermitor, and basically that's how the whole story goes. But he will place increased attack on himself if the attack is critical. Now, the main thing is you kind of like want to open with the A3, especially for the Spider Dungeon, to make the most out of it. And this is an AoE attack. Each hit will have a chance to apply HP burn if the champion is under increased attack. The passive, I can't really remember what it does. Seems like it fully heals the champion and instantly removes the stun. So, he's not the worst epic champion in the game, but he's not very impressive either, you know? So, I wouldn't stress too much about Ultimate Galek. I wouldn't build him, even if I would get him right now in 2024. Then we have Mordecai, which is a much better HP burn champion, in my opinion, than Ultimate Galek. Not only that he does HP burn, but he will bring increased attack with the same skill. True is on a 4-turn cooldown, but he will have some Thermitor manipulation. And with the A1, basically, he will have a chance to manipulate the Thermitor. Accuracy aura for all battles. Much better than Ultimate Galek in my opinion. Then we have Skrank. He's actually a pretty solid champion. He deals a lot of damage too. The A1 has a chance to land weaken. The chance increases if the enemy is under HP burn. With the A2 attacks one enemy 2 times. He heals himself. He puts increased attack if the target is under HP burn. And with the A3, AoE attack and HP burn on all enemies and fills the Thermitor when hit with a critical hit. So definitely much better. The passive will increase the champion's attack and crit damage by 5% every time an HP burn is triggered on an enemy, stacking up to 25%, which means that he will end up in doing quite a bit of damage, you know. I actually need to do a video on him in the next couple of days for the Hydra Clan Boss. And then we have one more, which honestly I'm not a big fan of this epic champion, Frenzy the Crackler. I've tried doing quite a few different things. I really thought that he would be good, or she would be good, to get the Sand Devil's Necropolis down on stage 25, being Void Affinity and all that. But for whatever reason, it felt so freaking weak. So the A1 has a chance to activate the HP burn. The A3 attacks at random with a chance to apply HP burn. Then it fills the champion's turn meter by 10 for each HP burn debuff placed by this champion. You have a provoke on the A3 on a 4-turn cooldown, and you have an increased defense on this champion. The passive increases the champion's defense by 2% for each HP burn debuff active on enemies, or the HP burn that was activated on enemies up to 20%. And you have a defense aura in dungeons. So I don't think is an amazing epic champion, guys. If the HP burn was AoE, I think it would have been much better and more reliable for more content. But like this, I'm really finding this champion super mediocre. I'm very curious to see the reviews because I haven't really checked them. 4.8 in Hydra. Now, why would people give 4.8 in Hydra to a 4-turn cooldown provoke with random hits on the HP burn? And even on the Spider, why would this be a 4.8? Like, attacks 3 times at random. That's it. It's not good for the Spider. It's not good for the Hydra with a 4-turn cooldown provoke. So, yeah, maybe I'm just missing something, but I'm not seeing this champion extremely good. Either way, guys, this is what we have on the list. Now, because the champions are not absolutely disgusting, like to have Siphi, Acrisias, Newts, and all the crazy champions, I think we can easily take a break this weekend. Basically regroup, start saving up some more shards, prepare for the next fusion or for the next few events. It's definitely the best moment we've had in quite a while to get a break. The fusion is not OP. The soul is not going to change your account. While I do think that souls are very important for champions, this champion in general is just not too insane to be worth it for us to go all in to get the soul for her. That's my take on it. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Much love. Appreciate all of you guys watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.